Hi and welcome to Hobby Crisis. I'm Michael. Today we're going to have a look at 4 easy to build bases. The first thing you're going to need is some leftover sprue cutter and some plastic cement. Now take your sprue, cut it up to small pieces, 5 to 7 millimeters in length. On our first base, we're just going to take some plastic cement, smear it all over the base and lay down the bricks. When you lay down your bricks, you can do different variation, leave out a brick, chip some of them off. It's all about my imagination when you do it. It's all up to you. Just have fun with it. What I do when I'm done, I use a rattle can to spray them black. You can also just use a black paint to base them with. And on top of that, I paint them grey. For the next step here, I'm using everybody's favorite shade, Aqueous Earthshade. And remember to get all the shade down in between all the cracks on the base. Then let it dry for about 30 minutes. If you do a whole batch of them, it's just start from one end, and probably by the time you're done with the last one, the first one's going to be ready for dry brushing. And then it's as simple as going back to your grey base paint, and then dry brush lightly over it until you get the result you like. Then the final step, paint the rim of the base in the color of your choosing. I always paint mine black. And there you go, the first base is done. And remember, when you glue your mini down to the base here, you need to use super glue. And on the second one, that's basically the simplest base you can do. We're just going to take some of the bricks again, lay 2 down, 1 on top. And again, the same steps as before. Prime it black, put some grey on top, and then the Aqueous Earthshade all over. The good thing about these bases is they have a bit of structure in it, so they can be dry brushed and still get a good effect. Once again, take your grey base paint. I mixed in a bit of sandy dust. Remember, when you dry brush your base, don't have too much paint on the brush because there's only very small indentation in the base. And when you're done with this step, all you need to do is paint the rim of your base. And now you manage to actually make the most simple and cheapest base you can make in Warhammer. And for the third base, we're going to use some texture paint, Armageddon Dust from DW. To cheat a little bit here, I'm using Vallejo Thick Matte instead, for the simple reason I'm out of Armageddon Dust. It is the same texture and you get the same effect. For a good effect, put on a good layer, I would say 2 to 3 millimeters at least on the base. And a little hint here, the less smooth you can get the surface, the more of a realistic look you can actually get. Since I used Vallejo Thick Matte instead of Armageddon Dust, I have to paint it up with sandy dust as an extra step. When using these thick texture paints, leave them to dry overnight, and then they should be ready for a good layer of Aqueous Earthshade. And for the dry brush, I just used sandy dust. And here try only to dry brush the very peak of the base, so I have a good contrast between the deepest recesses and the highest point. And now you can paint the rim of your base. But I am going to put one little extra step in here just to spice up the base a little bit. If you have any coarse yarn lying around, just cut off a small piece of 5-10 millimeters, and we're going to make our own little piece of turf. Just put a small bit of PVA glue on the base and squeeze the yarn down. Then just let it dry, and after that just give it a light brush over with the sandy dust. And there we go, that was the third base done. And now for the fourth base and my favorite, the wooden plank base. For this base you'll need some stir stick ice cream sticks. And here you simply take the stick and cut it up to manageable sizes. And from here, just take some PVA glue and put on the base. Good thick layer, doesn't matter. The glue dries clear and you'll get some paint over it afterwards. And after that is simply just putting the sticks down and letting the glue dry. You can get creative here, like breaking up the sticks, making holes in the planks, or leaving a plank out to put in some tuft or whatever you feel like. I purposely let the planks hang over the side of the base, then I can trim it afterwards. And after the glue dries, I base paint the whole thing black, and here I paint everything with a dark brown color. And of course, after this step, it's Agrath Earthshade once again. And for the dry brushing, I take my same dark brown color, mix in a little sandy dust to get it a bit lighter. And when you're done with the dry brushing, paint the rim of your base and this will be done too. So there we go, that was 4 easy to make bases. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at HobbyCrisis2. And remember, have fun doing what you like.